Welcome to the deep dive. We're locking in on Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves today. This is a game that's already making some serious waves, mainly for its incredibly deep fighting system.
Definitely. And we've got a treasure trove of knowledge to explore with you. We looked at beginner's guides from the legendary Cayenne, also one from the always insightful Ruffelmonger, and a really detailed written fighting guide, too.
Yeah, lots of good stuff. So our goal today is pretty laser focused, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We want to dissect the core mechanics, the things that really make Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves tick. By the end of this, you should have a solid understanding of how the game actually operates.
Whether you're, a seasoned fighting game vet or maybe just curious about what all the buzz is about.
Exactly.
And look, we know our listeners have all sorts of experience levels with these games. Some of you practically live in the training lab. Others might be just starting out.
That's fine.
Yeah, no sweat. We're going to break it all down, hopefully in a way that's clear, thorough, and maybe gives you a few of those satisfying aha moments where complex stuff just clicks.
That's the plan.
All right, let's dive right in. Foundation first, the controls.
Okay, so Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves uses a 5-button control scheme. You've got light punch, heavy punch, light kick, heavy kick, and then a dedicated RV button.
That RV button sounds important already.
Oh, it's absolutely key. It unlocks so many of the game's unique and powerful mechanics. We'll be talking about it a lot.
Gotcha. And if you're starting with, say, a PlayStation controller, the default layout is usually square for light punch, triangle heavy punch, cross light kick, circle heavy kick.
And R1 for that RV button.
Right, R1. Cayenne also mentioned L1 is often chop, which is your throw.
Yep, and L2 and R2 are usually set for pressing both kicks or both punches together. Super handy for EX moves.
Makes sense.
And it's worth saying, arcade sticks, leverless controllers, they're great options too. Totally viable depending on your style.
Of course.
And like any fighting game, you combine those buttons with directional inputs, crouching, jumping, doing specific attacks, all that standard stuff.
Okay, so 5 main buttons, directions, that's our starting point. How do we actually hit people with those? Seems like more than just mashing.
Uh-huh. Definitely more than mashing. One of the first things to get your head around is the difference between close and far attacks.
Okay.
So pressing the same button can give you a completely different move depending on how close you are to your opponent.
Right. Different animations?
Different animations, and crucially, different properties. Speed, frame data, how they work in combos, it all changes based on distance.
Okay, like Ruffelmonger had that example, right? Heavy punch from far away is maybe slow, keeps them out.
Exactly. But get up close, and that same heavy punch button might become a fast uppercut, perfect for starting damage.
Ah, same button, different jobs depending on spacing.
Precisely. And generally, those close-range attacks, they tend to be faster. That makes them vital for pressure and starting combos when you're right in their face.
So you really got to think about your positioning.
Constantly. Spacing dictates the tool you get.
Makes sense. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about those bars at the bottom of the screen. The meters.
Right. 2 main ones to watch. First up is the super meter. This builds up as you play, dealing damage, taking damage, just progressing through the round.
And that lets you do the big super moves?
Yep. Once it's full enough, you can unleash powerful supers. Usually characters have 2 levels of super moves available.
And level 2 is typically just more, like stronger version of level 1.
In most cases, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
More damage, maybe faster, maybe some extra useful properties compared to level 1.
Okay. And the other meter?
Sitting right above the super meter is the RV meter. And this is where some of the really distinct Fatal Fury mechanics come into play.
The RV meter, right? You said it was key. How does this one work?
Okay, so the RV meter goes up when you do enhanced moves. We call them RV moves. Also, interestingly, it goes up when you block attacks.
Blocking builds meter?
Yeah,
Okay.
it does. And Cayenne also pointed out it goes down slowly over time, and also when you successfully land your own attacks.
So it's constantly shifting. What's its main job?
Primarily, it's like a gatekeeper for a lot of your best defensive tools. You need RV meter to do those enhanced specials, the RV moves, other IV actions that give you an edge.
But there's a catch, right?
There is a crucial balancing factor. If that RV meter gets too high, fills all the way up, you go into overheat.
Overheat. That sounds bad.
It is, because it actually locks you out of using those same powerful REV tools. So it's all about managing that resource. Spend it wisely, but try not to max it out unless you mean to.
Got it. Risk reward. Use the power, but don't burn yourself out.
Okay, let's shift gears. Movement. How do we get around the screen?
Well, the basics are pretty standard. Forward to walk forward, backward to walk back, and also block high mid attacks. Down back, block slow.
Familiar ground. But what about faster options? Dashes.
Yep. Quick double tap forward gives you a forward dash to close distance fast. Double tap back is a back dash to create space. Standard stuff. But I bet the REV button comes into play here too.
You bet it does. Holding YV while pressing forward lets some characters do an instant run. Covers a lot of ground quickly.
An actual run.
Yeah, Cayenne mentioned Rock Howard specifically has a run with REV plus forward. For other characters, it might just be a faster dash than the double tap version.
Okay.
And likewise, RBV plus backward gives you a faster backdash, more evasive.
So RB amps up your ground speed, makes you less predictable. What about jumping? Air options.
Fatal Fury gives you 3 main ways to jump.
Yeah.
First, your standard jump up or diagonal leap. Pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Then you have hops. These are shorter, quicker jumps, keep you lower to the ground.
Hops. Why would you want a short jump? What's the advantage?
Well, because you're lower and faster, your air attacks come out quicker, you land quicker. It can be riskier maybe, but better for fast aerial pressure.
But tricky to do consistently, just tapping up.
It can be, yeah. But guess what?
Let me guess. RV button.
Bingo. Hold RV and press up, you get a guaranteed hop. Makes it much more accessible.
Nice. Reliable hops.
But, important point from Ruffelmonger, you cannot block during a hop.
Ah, trade-off. Faster offense, lower profile, but no air guard during the hop itself.
Got it. What's jump type number 3?
That's the dash jump. You basically run or dash forward, then immediately jump.
Covers more ground horizontally.
Way more ground. Good for getting across the screen fast, maybe jumping over projectiles. But there's one exception. TikTok. His dash is unique, so he can't dash jump.
Character specifics already.
Okay.
Movement covered. Now the fun part, offense. How do we hit them? Let's start basic, maybe throws.
Right, throws. Or chops, as Cayenne calls them. You do these by pressing light punch and light kick together when you're right next to your opponent.
Your basic block beater.
Exactly. Essential tool. And if you hold back while pressing throw.
You throw them backwards, switch sides.
Correct. Good for corner positioning. And some characters even have air throws. Another layer for aerial fights.
Okay. And throws knock down differently. Yes. Crucially, basic throws cause a hard knockdown. Your opponent can't tech roll after being thrown.
Ooh, guaranteed pressure opportunity then. Nice.
Very important.
All right, what about special moves? The fireballs, the uppercuts, the signature stuff?
Those are done with joystick motions, quarter circles, dragon punch motions, things like that, plus an attack button. The specific motion and button determine which special move you get.
Standard fighting game stuff. But there are enhanced versions, EX moves.
Yes. Fatal Fury has EX specials. You do the normal motion, but press 2 attack buttons of the same type, so 2 punches or 2 kicks at the same time.
And these cost REV meter.
They do. They consume some REV. But the payoff is they often have better properties. Maybe more damage, maybe they cause a knockdown where the normal version doesn't, like Cayenne mentioned.
So RV fuels stronger specials. The written guide also mentioned RV meters. How are those different?
RV arts are, think of them as even more potent versions of specials that specifically use REV meter. What's really cool is you can combo one REV art directly into another RV art.
Really? Chaining them together?
Yeah, and you can even follow those up with a REV blow. Opens up some potentially crazy combo routes.
RV blows. Okay, we haven't properly defined those yet. What are they?
RV blows are a special offensive move you can only do when your SPG system is active. We'll get to SPG later.
Okay.
They're powerful attacks that have armor, meaning they can absorb an enemy hit while still hitting back.
Armor moves. Very strong.
Very. You can even do them in the air. And you can combo into them after RV arts, even some normal combos. Ruffelmonger also noted some RV blow startups can even nullify projectiles.
Wow. Armor and projectile negation. That's versatile. And they're different for each character.
Yep, unique properties for each character's RV blow. A key part of their strategy.
Oh, okay. Now, Cayenne talked about feints. What are those about? Pretending to do a move?
Exactly that. Feints let you start the animation of a special move, but then cancel it immediately without actually doing the move.
How do you do it?
Default input is REV button plus heavy kick together, though you can usually remap it. And holding different directions while you feint can give you different feint animations.
So it's like a bluff. Try to bait a reaction.
That's one use, yeah. Make them think a fireball's coming, then anti-air their jump. But feints have another, maybe even more important job.
Oh, which is?
Combo construction. You can cancel certain normal attacks into a feint. Doing this can actually reduce your recovery time on the normal attack.
Making it safer if they block?
Safer on block, or sometimes even making it give you frame advantage, letting you link into bigger attacks that wouldn't normally connect afterwards. Ruffelmonger really stressed how a good feint can turn a minus move into a plus move.
Whoa, okay, so feints aren't just mind games, they actually enable combos and pressure. Clever. What about breaks? Cayenne mentioned those too.
Breaks are another combo-focused mechanic. They let you cancel the animation of certain special moves early.
Cut them short. How?
Input is usually light punch plus light kick together, or just the RV button again. By breaking the move, you recover much faster.
Which lets you follow up, start a juggle.
Exactly. Creates openings for more hits, often launching them for juggles. Your command list will usually tell you which moves are breakable. Look for a BR note, as Ruffelmonger said.
Okay. Are there limits? Can you just break everything?
No, there are limits.
Huh.
Generally, you get one break after a normal hit in a combo and one break after an enhanced hit in the same combo. Helps keep things from getting infinite.
Sensible limits. Okay, we're building a picture of offense. What about wild punish and counter hit? Sound important.
They are. A wild punish happens when you hit your opponent during the recovery of their move. So after their attack whiffs or finishes, but before they can block again.
Punishing a mistake.
Right. The game even does a little pause effect to show you got a wild punish. Landing one often puts them in a special kind of knockback state.
Allowing for combos that usually wouldn't work.
Precisely. Big reward for capitalizing on recovery frames.
Okay. And counter hits? Different.
Counter hit is when you hit them while they're starting their own attack, like you interrupt their startup.
Hitting them as they try to hit you.
Exactly. There's usually a visual cue, like a glass shattering effect.
Yeah.
Counter hits generally mean more frame advantage for you, more damage.
Always good.
And sometimes, as Ruffelmonger showed with Jenny's back punch, a move might gain totally new properties on counter hit, like becoming a launcher.
Oh, wow. So counter hits can dramatically change the situation, lead to huge damage.
Definitely shifts momentum.
Yeah.
Now, Ruffelmonger also mentioned a universal auto combo. What's that?
The auto combo. For newer players, or maybe just in a scramble, there's a simple universal combo sequence.
How does it work?
Just mash close light punch repeatedly. It usually goes close light punch, heavy kick. Works for every character.
A safety net?
Kinda, yeah. And besides that, each character also has their own unique target combos. Specific chains of normal attacks designed to link together easily.
Good to know. There's some built-in strings. Okay, we've spent ages on offense. We got to talk defense. How do we stop getting hit?
Right. And defense seems really strong in this game. Lots of options. The most basic is just guarding.
Hold back for high mid, down back for low,
Yep.
Standard stuff.
But then you get into the more active options, like tech rolls.
Tech rolls, exactly. When you get knocked down, you can press back or forward, plus light punch for a short roll, or heavy punch for a long roll.
And you're safe during the roll.
Totally invincible during the roll animation. Lets you reposition roll forward to get closer, back to create space.
But not always possible. You mentioned throws earlier.
Right. Kine pointed out, not all knockdowns are rollable. Throws, certain specific hard knockdown moves, they prevent tech rolls, guaranteeing that pressure opportunity we talked about.
Gotcha. Invincible rolls are huge for escaping pressure, though. What about just defense? Cayenne seemed hyped about that one.
Just defense, or JD, is super important. It's blocking an attack at the exact moment it hits. Timing window isn't frame perfect, but needs good rhythm.
And the benefits are?
Several big ones. You recover a tiny bit of health, your RE meter actually goes down, and crucially, it enables guard cancels.
Wait, health recovery just for blocking well?
Yep. Seems small, but in tight matches, landing JDs can genuinely be the difference maker. Plus, it rewards that precise timing.
And helps manage REV meter. Nice.
And it completely negates chip damage from special moves. Can't be chipped out if you just defend.
Huge. Can you do it in the air? Is there air blocking?
No normal air blocking, but
That
you
is-
can just defend in the air. Provides your main air defense option. Though remember, you can't JD during a hop.
Okay, so JD is a high-skill, high-reward defense against ground and air attacks. What's guard cancel, then? You mentioned it's enabled by JD.
Right. A guard cancel lets you interrupt your block stun immediately after a successful just defense, or a hyper defense, which we'll get to, and launch a counterattack.
So instead of just blocking, you block perfectly and hit back instantly.
Pretty much. Input is just doing a special move motion right after the successful JD or HD. It lets you punish stuff that's normally safe on block.
Turning the tables on pressure.
Exactly. The guide even says guard canceling into certain moves like ignition gear makes them come out faster. More effective punishment.
Game changer potential right there. Okay, you mentioned hyper defense. How's that different from just defense?
Hyper defense is similar, but you trigger it by tapping forward, just as a multi-hit move connects.
Forward. Interesting.
Yeah. Benefits are the same as JD. Bit of health back, REV meter down, enables guard cancel. It's really good against those multi-hit block strings people like to do. Lets you find gaps to punish where you normally couldn't.
So it's specifically for dealing with rapid hits.
Primarily, yes. And Ruffelmonger pointed out something wild. If you guard cancel into a super after a hyper defense or just defense,
Yeah.
the super comes out with 0 startup frames. Basically instant.
Whoa. That's an insane punish. Hard to time, though, I bet.
Extremely hard. And warning, just mashing forward trying to get hyper defense will take you out of block and get you hit. Precision is key.
High risk, high reward again. Okay, what about Ravi Guard? We heard about the RV button for movement.
Ravi Guard is holding the dedicated RV button to block. It's a stronger block than normal.
Stronger how?
It pushes the opponent back further when they hit your guard, creates more space, and it also negates chip damage from specials, just like JB.
Okay, pushback and no chip. What's the catch? Does it cost RV?
It doesn't cost RV, but blocking with Ravi Guard actually builds your RV meter faster than regular blocking does.
Ah, so you get safer blocking and more pushback, but you build that potentially dangerous RV meter quicker. Another strategic choice.
Exactly. And another big plus, Ravi Guard blocks left and right simultaneously.
Wow. So it beats cross-ups automatically.
Makes dealing with cross-ups much easier, yeah.
Yeah.
And don't forget those movement shortcuts Ruffelmonger mentioned. RV plus up is hop, RV plus forward is dash, RV plus back is backdash. That button does so much.
It really is the multi-tool button. Okay, one more defensive thing. Dodge attacks or evasive maneuvers.
Right. These are done with REV plus a heavy button, heavy punch or kick, or a macro. They're usually 2 versions.
2 versions.
Yeah, regular press, and then holding down plus the heavy button press. The actual attack differs for each character.
What's the general difference between the regular and the down plus version?
Generally, the regular press is often a low dodge. Goes under high attacks, sometimes dodges lows. Might even act as an overhead if the character lacks one. Successfully dodging a low with it can trigger that slow-mo effect for a counter chance.
Okay, low dodge and the down plus version.
Often a high dodge. Character might jump, could have anti-air properties, good for evading high attacks, maybe punishing air approaches. Often has upper body invincibility, though usually not frame 1. And frequently special cancelable.
So versatile evasion tools tailored to different attack heights, potentially setting up punishes. Got it. Let's circle back and dig into the REV system itself more. We know REV moves and blocking build it, getting too high causes overheat.
That's the core loop. REV actions build meter, RV moves, consume it. Hit max. You overheat. Character glows red.
And the penalty is?
You can't use RV moves, can't use EX specials, can't even use RV guard. It cuts off a huge chunk of your toolkit.
Ouch. Sounds really limiting. Any other downsides to overheat?
Yes. While overheated, a second gauge appears under your health bar, a guard gauge. Blocking attacks while overheated drains this gauge fast.
And if it empties?
Guard crush. You're left wide open, totally vulnerable to a full combo, guaranteed punish for your opponent.
Yikes. How do you get out of overheat? Does it just wear off?
The RV meter recovers slowly on its own, but it recovers faster if you play aggressively and land hits. Interestingly, you can still use your normal super moves while overheated.
So offense is actually the best way to recover from overheat and avoid getting guard crushed.
Pretty much. It incentivizes you to fight your way out of that bad state.
Makes sense. Okay, now, the Selective Potential Gear System, SPG, this sounds really unique.
It really is. SPG lets you choose a portion of your health bar, start, middle, or end, to be your active zone.
What does that mean, active zone?
When your current health drops into that zone you picked at the start of the match, SPG becomes active, and you gain several powerful benefits.
Ah, so you decide when in the match you want your power spike. What kind of benefits?
When SPG is active, first, you gain the ability to use those RV blows. We talked about the armored attacks.
Okay, big one.
Second, you get a general boost to your character's attack power. Everything hits a bit harder.
Nice passive buff.
And maybe the biggest one, active SPG gives you access to your hidden gear.
Hidden gear. That's the ultimate move, right? The Ultra.
Exactly. Your character's most powerful attack.
Yeah.
But it's gated behind SPG being active and having 2 full bars of super meter saved up.
How do you do it?
Input is usually 2 quarter circles forward plus the RV button. Massive damage potential.
High cost, high reward, tied to that strategic SPG choice. Anything else special about hidden gear?
Yes, something very important. Using your hidden gear instantly resets your RV meter all the way back to 0.
All the way, even if you were.
Even if you were in overheat.
Yeah.
Completely clears it. Lets you immediately go back to using RV options right after landing your biggest hit.
Wow, that's huge. Massive damage and resource reset. Incredible comeback potential. Now, the guide also mentioned SPG discounts.
Right. This is a subtler but really strategic layer. When your SPG is active, the RV meter cost for doing your enhanced moves is actually reduced.
Cheaper RV moves.
Cheaper RV moves. And here's the interesting part. The later in your health bar you choose to activate your SPG.
The bigger the discount.
Exactly. So choosing SPG end means your RV moves will cost significantly less RV meter compared to choosing SPG start. The cost for RV blows also gets reduced with later SPG activation.
Whoa, so it's a gamble. Activate early for earlier access to RV blows and the attack boost. Or activate late for a potentially explosive, highly efficient comeback phase when you're low on health.
Precisely. It has a really deep strategic choice right at the character select screen, tailoring your resource management to your game plan.
That's fascinating. Okay, finally, let's tie some of this together. How do all these mechanics enable combos?
Well, combo building uses several key elements. First, you have basic links, connecting one move into another because the first move gives you enough frame advantage.
Plus frames, right. You recover before they do.
Exactly. You need to know your frame data training mode is your friend here to know which moves link naturally. Essential for knowing what's safe, what leaves you open. Players spend hours labbing this stuff.
Frame data is king. Okay, what about feints and combos? We touched on that.
Right. Feint canceling normals can change their frame data, make them more plus on hit or block. That extra advantage lets you link into heavier moves that wouldn't connect otherwise. Opens up whole new combo paths. They're not just for neutral mind games.
So feints are combo extenders too, and breaks.
Breaks are mostly for creating juggles. Canceling a special move early with a break can pop the opponent into the air.
Allowing you to follow up with more hits while they're airborne?
Yep. Remember the limit, usually one regular break and one enhanced break per combo sequence?
Juggles are always fun. And then there were RV Excel cancels.
Ah, yes. This lets you cancel the very last hit of an enhanced move directly into another enhanced move.
Chaining enhanced moves together.
Pretty much. It's a powerful way to extend combos, get really flashy, high-damage stuff going. We mentioned RV arts can cancel into other RV arts. This is how leads to some devastating sequences.
The combo potential sounds
Yeah.
immense.
It really seems like mastering how links, feints, breaks, and these RV cancels all interact is the key to unlocking the serious offensive power in this game.
Definitely. It's about knowing your character's tools and then creatively applying these system mechanics to string them together.
Absolutely. Sometimes the simple, reliable combo is best in a match, sure. But understanding these deeper mechanics, that opens up a whole different level of strategy and expression.
Man, this has been an absolutely packed deep dive into Fatal Fury. City of the Wolves, we covered a ton of ground.
We really good.
From that 5-button layout and the super important REV system, the meter, overheat, RV guard, to the strategic choices in the SPG system.
Plus all the movement options, the offensive tools like throws, specials, EX, RV arts, feints, breaks, wild punish, counter hits.
And the defense, just defense, hyper defense, tech rolls, those dodge attacks. It really sounds like just holding back isn't enough in this game. You got to be active on D.
No question. Fatal Fury. City of the Wolves looks like it offers a genuinely deep, complex, and rewarding experience if you're willing to learn its systems.
Yeah, that interplay between offense and defense, the REV and SPG strategy, the combo creativity, it seems incredibly layered.
Mastering these fundamentals we talked about, that's definitely going to unlock strategic advantages and hopefully those aha moments you're looking for.
Absolutely. So for you listening, after taking all this in, what's a good next step?
I'd say pick a character that looks cool to you. Dive into their command list, see how these universal mechanics we discussed apply specifically to their moveset.
Get in the lab.
Get in the training mode. Try some basic links. Then maybe try canceling a normal into a feint. See if you can link something bigger after. Try breaking a special move to start a juggle. Just experiment.
Solid advice. All right, final thought to leave you with. With such an incredibly rich tapestry of intertwined systems, how might understanding these mechanics not just, make you better at the game, but also deepen your whole appreciation for the sheer intricacy and design that goes into a fighting game like this?
Something to think about.
Definitely. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.